Israel has said it's going above and beyond its humanitarian obligations and blamed Hamas. Well, joining me live to discuss all of this is Laura Blumenfeld, who previously served as a senior policy advisor for the Middle East peace process in the U.S. State Department. Now, thank you so much for your time. Now, first starting with the comments from the supreme leader in Iran, that sort of rhetoric isn't unusual from him. But how seriously do you believe the U.S. is taking that threat?
Well, I mean, Iran is threatening to go up one rung on the escalation ladder, and the U.S. is taking it seriously. And they're saying, if you do this, we can't hold Israel back from kicking the ladder out from under you. The Israelis are feeling pretty confident now. Checking in with my Israeli intelligence sources, they sound outright cocky. One of them compared Iran to the Black Knight in Monty Python, who had his arms and legs lopped off but still wanted to fight. The Iran supreme leader is at least one official was threatening to break the teeth of Israelis, but the Israelis say that, we've defanged their air defenses and we've broken the jaw of Hezbollah. So the United States, for the next several days anyway, are trying to keep the calm. We've sent out our B-52 bombers, and we're beefing up sources again, hoping that that deterrence, that one word don't, that President Biden uttered a year ago, will do the job, at least to get us through Election Day.
Well, Laura, you say that the U.S. says its point is that it can't hold Israel back, but the Pentagon did also announce that it's sending more fighter jets as well as destroyers for Israel, and it made that announcement only yesterday. And yet this humanitarian deadline is looming, the one we mentioned. So what leverage does the U.S. have over Israel?
Absolutely. And that will come after the election. And I think it's going to come down on Israel like a ton of bricks. I mean, that will be the United States' opportunity really to hold Israel accountable. They put it in writing. As the Italians say, la carta canta, the letter sings. And they did give Israel, a 30-day warning to comply with humanitarian law. Otherwise, there will be consequences. And I do believe the United States will hold them accountable, especially with Biden. One thing is clear, he won't be the president in January. So he might be able to take some of those tough steps that either a future President Harris won't necessarily want to take, or a future President Trump won't at all.
But does this announcement not undermine the U.S.'s willingness to hold back that military aid? Or is your point that they may have made this announcement, but they could change their minds?
Well, the U.S. is always going to stand with Israel. This is what they say in terms of defense. It's how you fight this matters. That could be the headline on this entire war. It's what Secretary of State Blinken said, many months ago. We recognize your right to defend yourself, but do it within the confines of human law, humanitarian law, and simple good values.
So turning to the strike on the polio vaccination center again, Israel has not said they were behind this. They denied that the IDF was doing any strikes in the area at the time. But looking ahead at the stakes, what does this mean for children and Gazans in the region if these centers cannot have their safety guaranteed?
Absolutely. Look, it's heartbreaking. Israel would say that's not the right story. Is this a story problem, though, or is it a problem? And the answer clearly is it's a problem. Looking ahead and looking back, I mean, today, 7 children or 7 Israeli Arabs, Muslims, were injured in Tira, in the center of Israel. They're Israeli citizens by Hezbollah rockets that landed on them. So they were also injured because of this conflict today. I lived in that village 35 years ago to help create peaceful connections between Muslim Israeli citizens and Jewish Israeli citizens. Rocks started flying back then in the first Intifada. Here we are 35 years later and rockets are flying. We need a political point on the horizon. That's what we said back in 1987. And here we are in 2024 saying the same thing. And that's why we need to turn all these tactical gains into some kind of strategic vision, which includes a resolution of the Israeli problem with Palestinians.
All right, Laura Blumenfeld, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate your analysis there.